Welcome back to the channel. I don't usually do too much automotive content, as in mechanic work. I don't really show it. There's a lot of videos out there, but this one might be kind of interesting. So we got an O2 Duramax. Came in with a high RPM misfire. No codes. And it has been through several mechanic shops and racked up a hell of a bill. Let's see if the bill's actually here. Here, I won't give away the mechanic shops, but we'll hide their top information. So, we've got one in October that is test injector, scan codes, perform BG injector flush, power loss, stuttering when revving, renew high pressure fuel pump. Renew high pressure fuel pump. Okay. Number 6 injector is bad. 2, 3, 7, and 8 are lean. So let's see how, I'm trying to figure out how they did this here. So reman high pressure fuel pump, pump gear, O-ring, diesel injection flush kit. $2,049. Okay, so it looks like they replaced the high pressure pump. All right, let's go on to paper number 2. So that one was what, $2,000 something? We got a $4,000, so we're up over $6,000 now. Scan and retest fuel system, renew injectors. Looks like 12 hours at $50, something weird like that. I don't know. Probably, yeah, $112 an hour, $1,348 in labor, fuel filter, 8 new injectors, coolant hose, bolt fitting, injection seal, PSI regulator. All right, so there's $4,000. Key fob programming. Okay, so we've got kind of some type of mess in here. I came through here and I stripped out wiring. They had a Bully Dog tuner. I reflashed it to stock to make sure it wasn't Bully Dog. And they had a bunch of wiring out here that I stripped out. It's actually, there's a little bit of a pile out here. Right there. They had a mile of wiring in this thing. Let's see. I bought some new inner fender well things for it. This thing is kind of a wiring mess. Most Duramaxes are, but this thing is particularly messed up. I went through, I found, so there was fuel pump wiring. There's a massive amount of wiring here. I rewired the fuel pump to a relay. This is the fast pump that's on it. I found one wire in this bolt connector that was broken. I fixed it. It was some type of high pressure pump regulator wire. So we fixed it. I deleted the fuel filter. It's the original, somewhere in here. Where the hell is it at? Oh, well, somewhere in here, I don't know where the hell it's at, is a, oh, there it is a fast system. So that is making 9 pounds of pressure constantly, never goes down. They had the, somewhere over here, they had the original fuel filter meant for vacuum that's got the little primer bulb on top of it. I just deleted that, bypassed it. It was leaking, which wasn't causing the problem. I went through, tested all 8 injectors. All 8 injectors are new. They tested fine. Tested compression, 360 to 400 PSI. No codes. Everything looks good. They have a lot of, it's kind of hard to see in a lot of these things. Let me see where I did it on the Thickum. They have, somebody put a lot of dielectric grease in the connectors. So let's see if I can see that dielectric grease down there. So I took out cam and crank sensor to look at them. A Duramax will not start if these are swapped. Cam and crank are different part numbers. So what will happen if you've got a good scanner, if you swap these, it won't start. Your RPM will be twice as high, I believe. It could be half as low, but I think it's twice as high as it should be. And it won't fire because these two aren't getting along. I'm going to lose my, let me think how that works. The crank reads twice as fast as the camshaft. So those sensors do read differently. I do not know if these are aftermarket. We might look into replacing these. But one thing I wanted to do was, Duramaxes have a reluctor ring right in there. Let me get a better flashlight. All right, so in the crankshaft hole here, see if I can zoom in. There's a little reluctor ring in there. You can see it brass colored. So if that's missing a tooth, it'll throw a code usually. But I do want to spin it over just for the hell of it. It's pretty easy to see if it's missing a tooth. And then the other thing you want to do is stick a pick in there and see if it is loose. They're held on to the back of that gear with 3 bolts. Sometimes they come loose and they'll wobble at high RPM and cause a misfire. The other thing is 2002 has a Fickum somewhere up in there, right up in there. They're not as likely to go out. Like Fords, that's a huge thing. You can see on Fords that the Fickum goes out. You can tell with the scanner. One of the receipts that I found replaced that Fickum with a Reman Bosch one. And then they stated that it still had the problems afterwards. So they replaced a $1,600 part, maybe a little bit less if it was Reman, and still had the same problem. That was a different mechanic shop. They sent it away. So I'm coming in here. I'm going to clean the dielectric grease out of the connectors. I've already tested my grounds and everything on them. And then on these grounds, you've got your battery ground. So I cleaned that ground, tightened it up, cleaned the bolt holes out. You've got, this is for cam and crankshaft and yada, yada, yada. These two grounds need to be separate. Do not hook these two grounds up together. It can cause problems. They weren't hooked up together on this one, but we're going to clean their surface on them, which we already did. Tighten those down. Crankshaft. Oh, and then, so this one's Fickum, and that one's crankshaft and camshaft ground. So that can cause issues. I don't know if this is going to work. So on the other side of the block is similar grounds. You've got your other battery cable coming down, and you've got an ECM ground and some grounds for some other shit over there. Oh, ECM, PCM, and battery ground. Those need to stay separate as well. I have no idea why. I don't understand it. I just know that it's a TSB, and back when I worked at the dealership, that was an issue. So, you want to test, where'd my light go? You want to test from this ground here, your battery ground. We're going to clean that up, make sure everything's got good continuity, and go from there. So, a little bit of chafing on that wire, but it doesn't look like it's been eaten through. Oh, it's actually tape. So, yeah, I got to test these, look at these. These look good. So, but like I said, this thing runs good. It just has a misfire on the top end. When this truck came in, it had this engine in the back of it. There was a ticket that said engine misfire, low compression. So they put another engine inside of that truck. And then it went to mechanic shop after mechanic shop after that. So I bought this engine from him as a core. I don't know if it's any good, but it was the right price. He just wanted to get rid of it. But you can see that they've changed this and it had the same issue again. So it looks like I can't tell here. I don't know what's down in here, but no crankshaft position sensor. So they've messed with that, but it almost looks like something's broke off down in there. And then camshaft position sensor is over here on the front, and it looks like it stayed in here. It still has grease built up around it and everything like that. So we had one ground here I gotta go look for to make sure this ground isn't missing off of whatever they did. And we had two grounds here separated. And then on the other side, somewhere down in here, back down in there are the other grounds. So you've got this ground here. You've got a battery ground and everything that goes down in there. These things are really sensitive when it comes to this stuff. Let me see if, oh yeah, there's the battery ground there, going back down in there. All right, so unfortunately didn't get a chance to video the end result. I fixed it, customer came and got it right away. So everything ended up, it did end up being the grounds on the block. Yeah, that's been a long running problem with that truck. So we cleaned all the dielectric grease out of the connectors. I have a friend that tells me that those are always bad news to stick dielectric grease in any computer connectors or anything like that. He doesn't even like to put them in the spark plug boots. So cleaned all that out, cleaned all the grounds, tightened up the grounds, and it ran perfect. So those grounds will cause major issues, man, and they're really hard to diagnose. So hopefully this helps somebody out. You know, that's been through several mechanic shops, and nobody got it. And I'm not gonna lie, it took me, I probably spent 20 to 30 hours on that. Pulling injectors, checking compression, checking injectors, checking high pressure pump, checking all the fuel lines, checking the tank, the fuel quality, everything like that. I spent, yeah, just entirely way too much time tracking down some bad grounds. So anyways, hope that helps somebody out. And if you can, like and subscribe, and watch my channel. I've got a few other little projects going right now you guys might be interested in. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.